How's it going, everybody? It's been a whole week. Sunday night's 9 o'clock. Every week is when we're here. Tonight we'll be talking about the Daniel fast. It's starting tonight. It's possibly the most important thing going on in my life right now. Although there's several things happening. Um, got some videos in the works. I got a lot of different awesome things happening in town, which I'm not going to fully reveal tonight, but coming soon, coming in videos this week for sure. You'll see all that stuff. Um, but yeah, we have the Daniel fast. Those of you that aren't familiar, it actually goes back all the way to the beginning of this channel. And so it's kind of fun for me to talk about and to consider and remember, because that's how I started making videos. As far as the um, YouTube goes. I made some videos in high school as well, but those were like for different school projects and for our school TV show. Also super fun, but it's been interesting because I got to go back to get a refresher on some of the recipes I used during the Daniel fast, and it's fun to go back and see how much different I am in the videos. My first ones were very I don't know. I mean, people still say I'm boring now, but my videos were much more boring then, for sure. Much less engaging, much more awkward on camera, and much worse at editing. So a lot of different things have changed over time, but some things stay the same. And the Daniel fast is one of those things. Been doing it for maybe 10 years now, probably 9 years, 8, yeah, 8, 9, 10 years, somewhere in that range. But super blessed to be able to participate in that every year with the church. And yeah, I'll just give a couple seconds for some more people to come on here, and then we'll get right into it. But those of you that are here already, tell me how your day went. Tell me what you got going on, and we will, let's see here. Be happy to respond to all of your comments too. If you guys have questions or other comments or other things you want to talk about, please let me know. Caden, first in the house tonight. Summer Fun Rides is here. Good to see you guys today, Connie. I saw you got your you got a good last meal for the Daniel fast. You guys went to Harper's, and my daughter wanted to go to McDonald's after church. She wanted a Happy Meal, and she's participating this year for the first time in the Daniel fast. So it's her and I in our household, and so I'm pretty pumped for her. She'll be 7. She'll actually turn 7 years old during the Daniel fast, and she's all excited to get it going. I hope that she'll be able to go through it, and I know that God is going to honor that in her life as well. But she wanted her happy chicken nugget Happy Meal, so we went and got that, and I got some French fries. So, and then we try to clear out all the leftovers in the house, all that stuff. But we have little ones too that still won't be participating in the Daniel fast, but. So there will still be some normal food made in our house at this point, but I think the whole family will be doing more Daniel fast stuff this time than we have as a family in the past, just because we have 2 participants now. So Abby's all into it. She's all excited. Every meal for the past probably 2 or 3 weeks, she's looks at everything on her plate and says, "Is this legal? Is this legal? Is this legal?" So very, very fun. But good to have you, Connie. Caden is splashing money on the live stream again. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. As you know, any donations that come in go directly to the work of this channel, either expanding its reach or buying equipment, all that kind of stuff. I promise not to spend any of it on myself. So, Meatloaf says, "Gray shirt, different." Yeah, I went a little different today. No plaid today, which is odd for me on a Sunday, but went with the gray sweater today. Also, I tweaked my neck this morning really bad, right here, right at the base of my neck. So I don't know if Amanda's gonna hop on tonight, but Amanda, I need some advice on what to do for my neck. I was in so much pain in worship this morning at church, and but got through it. And then we had to make all of our Daniel fast stuff this afternoon. So we made applesauce and tortillas this evening. And Excuse me. So we have that stuff ready for Abigail and I. But how many of you are actually participating in the Daniel Fast? I don't even know. If you are, let me know. And if you don't know, I mean, sure, I bet there's some people that don't know what it is. So I guess I'll explain a little bit. But let me go back into the comments here, and then we'll get into that part. Gene says, "Hello, Pastor Andy. So happy Minnesota Vikings win today. Yes, that was huge. Minnesota Vikings win. That's my team. Just so you all know, I am not a big Steelers fan. Although I don't like cheer against them. I've been watching a lot more Steelers football this year since they're always on. And this is the first like full year that I've actually had cable for a football season, which is weird as well. But I've enjoyed just kind of spending Sunday afternoon. My girls actually like watching football in short bursts of time. But today the Vikings game, man, what a good game too. They were up 20-10. I thought for sure they were going to choke it away like normal, but Saints came back all the way, 20-20, and then they drove right down the field in overtime, just like with the big touchdown. Couldn't believe it. I was just in shock that they actually won that game. The Saints were a really good team this year, and Vikings just got them on the right day. I don't know if they'll be able to beat the 49ers, but honestly, I didn't think they had much of a chance against the Saints either, so anything can happen, I guess, any given Sunday. But yeah, go Vikings. Brad Toy's in the house. Good to have you, Brad. Meatloaf says, yes, great. Got baby cuddles. She slept on me, and it wrecked my arm, but it was so worth it. Yeah, you have a new little niece there, and she is adorable. Pretty awesome. Little blessing for sure. Cameron Sirwell. I don't recognize the name, Cameron, but good to have you tonight. How old am I? I am 33 years old, so I am getting older every day. Be 34 in March, so coming soon. Josiah says, I just finished watching The Phantom Menace. I don't even know what that is. Phantom... Oh, wait, that's the first Star Wars movie. Never mind, I know what that is. A lot of people hate on that movie. I really liked it. I thought all the first three, like the prequel that Star Wars that they made, I thought they were all great. I don't know what people were complaining about, to be honest. I think people just like to whine. I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars movies, not a single one. So are those any good? I've seen all the spoilers, I think, so. But I don't know anything about them. Cameron likes the Saints. Sorry for your luck today, And sorry for your luck 2 years ago with the Minneapolis Miracle. The Vikings have had their number over the last couple years. But they had our number in 2009 when they won the Super Bowl, so I guess you still have the upper hand. Summer says, Roger's participating. I'm going to try. You'll be fine, Connie. You'll be fine. So those of you that don't know, the Daniel fast is it's basically it's from the book of Daniel in the Bible, and it says that Daniel just ate food that was from pulse, and pulse means something that's from seed. And so basically anything that is grown from seed is legal to eat. Everything else is not legal to eat. So we don't eat meat, we don't eat dairy, we don't eat any kind of processed foods. So I don't eat anything from, say, no processed, cookies or anything with extra sugar. We don't eat any extra sugars at all, just natural sugars from fruit and vegetables, and then whole grains. So don't even eat white flour. So tonight when we made tortillas, we made whole grain tortillas, which is kind of like our staple food throughout the fast. So then we'll make rice dishes with stir fry. Potatoes are good Daniel fast food. Just anything that's going to, get you to some point of being, full. But the point is to be a little bit empty. We want to be hungry, and we want to then utilize that hunger to remind us to turn our lives over to worship of God. And so we're supposed to pray more, read the Bible more. Hopefully you'll have a lot more time to do those things. And that's why throughout the Daniel fast as well, I know a lot of people like to make these like extravagant Daniel fast meals. But for me, I like to keep it very, very simple. I eat the same breakfast every single day for the next 21 days. I'm eating oatmeal, with raisins and flax seeds and applesauce in it. And I'll eat that every single day for the next 21 days. And it's ultra healthy. I'll end up feeling great at the end of it physically. But more than that, way more important than that, hopefully it will kind of hit the reset button on my spiritual life, my mentality, my emotions. Everything should be leveled out at the end of this thing if we're really seeking God and doing it the way that He intends us to do it. So it's not just a diet. It's not just to lose weight or something like that. It's really to get closer to God and to pour out our lives for Him. Let's see here. DCB 1973 says, "Hello. I had seen some of your posts on the history of Kittanning. Are you going to show more?" Yes. I mean, I'm definitely planning on revisiting that at some point. It's two of my most popular videos of all time, actually, and I haven't made one since over a year ago. But I do have probably a dozen videos planned on Kittanning history. I've just never actually taken the time to complete them. But hopefully, what I wanted to do last year was every quarter to put one of those out, because they do take quite a bit more work, because it's a lot more research and it's a lot more editing, because I try to make those more professional. Like, I don't want them to just be vlog style videos. I want them to be historical data videos. So I want it to feel more like you're watching something on the History Channel or something. Even though I'm not that talented, so I can't make it like the History Channel, but you understand what I mean, hopefully. But I really enjoy those videos. I love the research of it. I love history just in general, and it's really fun to kind of put those together, because there's so many people around here that don't know the rich history that's around us. And so definitely planning to do more. If you have suggestions on what you'd like to see next, I would love to have those suggestions. My next video I was planning was going to be the history of Edgewood, which many people don't even know what Edgewood is. And then the one after that was going to be the Battle of Kittanning. Those two things actually tie in together, and Edgewood ties into the last one I did, which was on Typewriter Hill. So I need to make those for sure. And I think my subscriber numbers have doubled since the last one I made, and the last one did something like 5,000 views or something. Actually curious now how many views that one has. I did promote it for quite some time, so let's see. Typewriter Hill, Kittanning, PA. Look at that. First result on YouTube. That's nice. Or on Google, actually. First result on Google. Yeah, that is 5,500 views, which is way, way over my normal. So, just from a practical perspective, I should be making more of those kind of videos just to reach more people and connect more people to this channel. But I haven't focused on history videos, because I've been focused on like kind of making history videos. You know, as we're transforming the city, as different great things are happening around us, I've been really focused on kind of documenting the different changes that are happening around the city, and documenting our process of, I guess, kind of planning for how to bring more change to the city. So that's where my focus has certainly been, but definitely not opposed to more history videos. In fact, I'm looking forward to doing more soon. Sorry, really long answer. You probably didn't want to know all that. Meatloaf says, "My cat's mad at me. I hadn't visited in a while, and she wants to cuddle, so I forced her down." And why are you threatening your cat? Okay, glad you got your cat cuddles. Josiah says, "What is your favorite Kittanning fact?" Good question. I mean, my favorite story probably is still the one that I did first, which was the Kittanning history of the bridge. My favorite fact to tell people and story to share is the history of the bridge. The fact that the bridge that's down there is not the first bridge that was built; it's actually the fourth one. The first bridge, they took 17 years to raise the money to build it, and they built it. I think they finished it in March or something like that, in the 1800s, and then it was like less than 2 months later, a tornado came over West Kittanning, tore the bridge off of the foundation, and threw it in the river. I just thought it was like the most Kittanning story ever. Took 17 years to get the money and build this bridge, and then all of a sudden, it's in the water and gone. But it only took them a year to raise the money for the second one, and they got it done pretty quick. So, but that's my favorite fact about Kittanning. I think my favorite story is that bridge story. But there's other ones that are more well known. I just like that one because it's like so shocking to people that they don't know that story, and I just think it's a super cool story to tell and a really neat piece of Kittanning history. Gene says, I just asked God to take away my smoking, and he did. That's awesome, man. I'll be cheering for you over the coming 3 weeks, and hopefully you can stick to it. It'll save you a lot of money, too. Gosh, I don't know how anyone can afford to smoke these days. I used to chew, and even when I look at the prices of chew, man, it saves so much money. Meatloaf said, Yo, Ladislaw, did you watch those TikToks yet? Yes, I did. I watched them last night. I gave you my review, actually, of them. DCB73 says, awesome, thanks. Josiah says, so you're a pastor and have another job while doing YouTube. How? Great question. I mean, I don't know. I've really scaled down how many videos that I'm doing recently, although I'm planning to ramp up as we get more into the spring. But I would love to ramp up now, but I've just been so busy lately. We have revamped almost every system in our church over the past year, and specifically over the past few months, I've been working really heavily on that. Also at my job, I've revamped most of the systems that we are doing there, and catching up and really doing a lot of legwork to set us up for the future. And so my last couple months have really been taken up with that a lot. But that being said, I mean, when I'm on my game, not this last summer, but the summer before, I made like 80 some videos in a row over the course of the summer, every single day, putting out a video. And that was a lot. That was too much, actually. But I did it because I wanted to kind of know that I could do it. And but yeah, that was super fun. But I mean, my life is busy. I don't waste a lot of time doing other stuff. I just kind of try to focus on what I want to accomplish, and I try not to get lost in other things. That's been harder lately for whatever reason. Like today, I spent 3 hours watching a football game, so that was 3 hours that I kind of threw down the tubes. But it was fun to watch the Vikings win, and I enjoyed it. Wouldn't take it back, but I try to waste as little time as possible. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Josiah says, what's the best way to start a conversation with someone about God? That's not the funny thing. Meatloaf says, you're going to hell. Want to know how I know? That is an interesting way to start. It would probably be effective with a certain segment of the population. If you have that kind of boldness, Josiah, I would say go for it. But what I look for, Josiah, most of the time is just different ways to bring it into a regular conversation. I find that people are much more receptive if they know your heart first, and so I try to really focus on getting to know people, and then you can have more influence in their lives. So when that crisis moment hits, or something happens in their life, or all of a sudden they have questions, or you can just bring it up in conversation here and there and gauge the level of interest. Or sometimes the best way is just to flat out invite someone to church. Just say, hey, we have this. Hopefully you have something cool going on at your church, but right now we have what at our church we're calling it the 9-week challenge. And we told people, hey, come connect with us for 9 weeks. And if you do what we say for 9 weeks and don't veer from it, and God doesn't change your life, then don't ever come back to church with us, at least, because it obviously didn't work. So so I would just suggest that you look for your opportunities, and if you're have something cool happen at your church, just invite someone to it. I think the statistics say something like 70% of people would go to church if they were invited, but we think that we're going to be rejected over and over again, so we don't invite people, which is crazy. We should just be inviting everyone that we know if we really believe in what we're talking about, and if we really believe that our church is a place that people can find transformation in their lives. So I think there's a certain boldness that we have to have. You maybe don't have to go quite as far as Meatloaf there, but but I do think. I do think we need to be less afraid of what people think of us and more afraid of what God's going to think of us when or how we're going to have to answer with how we spent our lives. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to be too harsh, but it is what it is. Melissa's in the house. Good to have you, Melissa. Josiah says, I kind of met you once during the Crave event. I don't know how much you remember that. Oh, I absolutely remember the event, but I did meet like 80 kids that night. So I don't know if I could. I'm sure I couldn't pick you out of a crowd, but I bet if we talked, I'd remember a little bit of who you are. But it's cool that you're here and that you found the channel. I actually made a video about that night. Did you see the video? That was super fun, by the way. I really enjoyed that. Shout out to Pastor Dave for letting me participate. Really, really love that. But if you're at Harvest, if that's your church, man, you always have something happening up there. You definitely have a place where you could invite people that's going to be engaging, and I mean, that place would be exciting for even a non-Christian to go into. And they're going to get the truth there. You have a great preacher in Pastor Mike, and all of your assistant pastors are really, really good too. So would definitely not have any reservations about inviting people to your church. Josiah says, I don't like children even though I am one. Tim says, most of the streets downtown were made with bricks along with many of the older buildings. The brickyards that used to be up in Tartown would be a good video. Yes, I do have brickyards on my list for sure. I didn't know there were any in Tartown though. I know there were like 3 in Kittanning. There was one on up by Troy Hill, but still there. And then I think there were 2 down on the far end of Wick City. Someone on here could maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there were 3 in Kittanning at one point. Lots of bricks coming out of this area. Actually, in the video that I'm going to be posting, hopefully on Friday, on that video, I'll be posting another idea for how to memorialize some of those great blue-collar businesses that we have in town, and you guys can let me know what you think of that when it comes out. Let's see here. Josiah says, heck yeah, man, Harvest is fire. It is. It's a good church. We always said that if I did not feel certain that I was called to be on this side of the river, that we were supposed to be involved with a ministry that was reaching directly into this side of the river, as in Kittanning Borough, then I would be at Harvest 100%. My family and I would be there, and we would be probably loving it. But that being said, I really believe that God called us to do something on this side of the river, and lo and behold, very roundabout story. Living Water Church was born 6 years ago, and we are just loving it, loving that as well. 6 years ago? 5 years ago? I can't remember. I think we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, or was it 6? Gosh, I'm getting old, you guys. Let me see. My daughter will be 7. So yeah, it would be 6 years. 6 years. She was just a little baby when we started. She was actually dedicated at another church, and then that one split and created Living Water. So here we are. Let's see here. Meatloaf says, you get on my nerves, get off of them. Oh, you're talking about your mom. Okay. Well, if your mom is on your nerves, you are the one that actually gets to decide who's on your nerves. You get to decide how you react. And so if she's on your nerves, then you just get her off of there if you want her to be off of there. Andrew, Jade looks just like Tyler with dark hair and a double chin. She's a pretty cute baby. I was actually, yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the baby. Very cute. Can't wait to meet her someday. One brickyard is where the YMCA is now, says Summer Fun Rides. Yeah, and that brickyard, I believe, replaced the Wick City China Factory, which was down there as well, which is another video that's on my list. Wick City China was like a massive China factory. It was a very famous type of China throughout the world, and it was made right there, right by your house, Summer, right by your house, like 2 blocks from where you live. Crazy. Let's see. Josiah says, I don't think I'm supposed to be saying this, but a group of people from Harvest went to India. My brother was one of them. Now he will be there for a year. For a year, many years. He will be there for a year, many years. Okay. So your brother, yes, okay. That's awesome, though. That's amazing. I actually know some of the ones that are in India, so, but I'm not going to mention them because, like you said, we're not supposed to totally talk about that. But but yeah, Harvest, they're doing amazing stuff through that church, and the team in India is one of the most amazing stories, amazing ministries that I've ever seen come out of a church. Period. They're just doing awesome, awesome stuff. After she gets first set of shots, we will bring her. Yeah, everyone says that, but I mean, they say they have better immunity from breast milk than they get from vaccinations. So, I mean, just do that. Josiah says, what are your thoughts on anti-vax? Oh boy, here we go. That's going to be an interesting topic. I don't know how far I want to go on that. I don't think we should have nearly as many vaccines as we do. I am totally 100% against vaccinations, against things that are preventable diseases, lifestyle choice diseases. I'm also against vaccinations against things like chickenpox. I think it's healthy to get things that we know aren't going to kill you, and I think it's a good thing to get that stuff and let your body fight it off. I will never, ever, ever take a flu shot, ever. I won't do it. Refuse because I just will not put extra mercury into my body over something that's not going to kill me. I just don't believe in it. That being said, my kids are vaccinated. They have all the major ones, MMR, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But I just won't do it for the other stuff because I don't believe in pumping all those chemicals into your body, especially the ones that contain mercury. I refuse to do it. You can read studies about how the mercury, when it's injected into you, actually takes a lot longer to get out of your body than they previously thought. It affects your brain for the long term, and so I won't do any of that stuff. But I might get called crazy. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. But I just, it is what it is. Adrian B is in the house. Good to have you. Says, I stumbled upon this video when I was casually browsing YouTube. Glad to have you, Adrian. Glad that you're here. I kind of want a fountain pen. What are your thoughts? Go for it, man. Go for it. Kevin says, average life expectancy before vaccines was like 35. But Kevin, the vaccines aren't actually what saved anybody. What saved people were the discovery of antibiotics. People weren't dying mostly. People mostly weren't dying from these diseases that we're now vaccinating against. People were dying from being from having infections after having cuts or surgeries, that kind of stuff. Antibiotics are way more responsible for the life expectancy change than vaccines, like 95 to 5. That's how much the difference is. It's way more effective to just wash your hands after you shake people's hands or go to the bathroom than it is to get a vaccine. I stand by that too. Steven says, "Hey Andy, how are you and how you been? I am doing good and I am awesome. I mean, just aside from my neck is like crazy in pain right now. But other than that, feeling great, man. Feeling great about life. Happy with where I'm at." Meatloaf says, "Are you anti-vax?" I'm not anti-vax, but like I said, I explained my position. You know where I'm at. Josiah's on the same page. That's cool. Kevin says, "I can picture a crippled man back in the day telling Jesus not to heal him with a miracle because if God wanted him healed, he would have done it." As I said, I'm not against medical, intervention or anything like that, but I do think that our medical system is way more geared towards making money than it is geared towards saving people's lives. And so I think we do a lot of things the doctors will do a lot of extra tests, extra things that really are not necessary. And I think they do that to churn more money into the offices and churn more money through your insurance, which makes the prices go way up, which makes it unaffordable for everyone else, which ultimately is going to lead us to socialism. So it's probably all part of the plan anyway. Adrian says, "Great channel. Love what you're doing." Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Summer says, "Against flu shots and vax." Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think polio vaccine has done great work. It's cool that polio is almost 100% eradicated across the earth. I think it's amazing. Um, but polio and the flu are not the same thing to me. They're just not the same. Sorry here. Trying to find the comments. Kevin says, "Do you think we get more mercury from vaccines or the fish that we eat?" I think that the fish that we eat, we take in that mercury in a different way than we take it in when we inject it directly into our veins. um, that being said, I know you're not supposed to eat so much tuna or whatever, but yeah, I think it's different. Kevin says, "Heck, if the fish is caught in Kittanning, you get high when you eat it." Oh my goodness. Yeah, some of the Allegheny River water. I'd be curious to know what the tests are on that, just from all the factories that were on the edges, especially like down by Ford City with the PPG plant. It would be super interesting to know what the water is like down there and how that affects the wildlife. I'm actually surprised that we don't see studies like that. I guess they probably want to keep that pretty quiet. Josiah says, "Well, I have to go get in the shower for bed." And Adrian, before you say anything about being homeschooled, just shut up. Hey, my kids are homeschooled. I'm all about the homeschool stuff. Very cool. Kevin, don't eat that fish, says Tim. Love seeing the drone air shots of downtown the other day before the new downtown businesses. Hope the shop in your basement is doing well. They're doing amazing. They're doing amazing stuff, and yeah, I think. I mean, their costs are low, so I know that they're gonna survive. And they're such a blessing to the community. It's just amazing. So, um, So yeah, I think they need to just keep focusing on keep doing what they're doing, and the coffee shop is going to be amazing when that opens up. Hopefully, we're just about a month away from the opening of East Piare, and I can't wait. Can't wait for that to open up. It'll be after the Daniel fast, so I'll be able to go and try the coffee because caffeine also not allowed on the Daniel fast. However, that one to me is really debatable because we can eat roasted nuts. Why can't you use a roasted coffee bean to make black coffee? I mean, you can't put cream in it, you can't put sugar in it, but black coffee to me is totally like probably okay for the Daniel fast. If you haven't quit, if you're gonna quit coffee cold turkey, I would suggest stepping it down and not doing the cold turkey thing because you'll just make yourself miserable for the first week of the Daniel fast. Just wouldn't suggest it. But but that being said, I mean it's a bean. It's from seed, 100%. So I mean I think you could do it. You just need to do black coffee, and tea's fine too. Tea's from seed as well. Um, as long as you're not adding sugar and cream to it, you're legal in my book. But I don't do caffeine specifically because I get so addicted to it that I don't. I want to flush that out of my system. So I quit coffee like 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But I quit prior too because, and I've quit most of the sugar as well. Although I had some cookies yesterday at our training event at the church. Excuse me. But yeah, it's I don't do it because I enjoy coffee so much that I don't want it to be a crutch during the Daniel fast. Kevin says, it is true. There are traces of opioids in our water from people flushing drugs. That's why the cops have turn in stations now. Well, that's interesting. How would it get in the water, though? That's I don't understand. Like, wouldn't that filter out? Have that actually show up in the water tests? Or is it in the river? If it's in the river, that makes more sense to me. Let's see. Kevin, you're just making fun of me tonight. What's up with it? Homeschool is great. Your date for prom is. I guess all his Malachi's sisters. He's gonna have to take all of them to prom. Poor guy. I would die without caffeine, says Melissa. You would not. And I think the best thing for you ever would be to slowly wean yourself off of caffeine. Probably the best thing that ever happened to you. Margie says, there is more chemicals than mercury, formaldehyde, and others bad. Yes, absolutely. I agree. And I think for some of them, it's worth it. But we're pumping like, is it like 40 vaccines that we pump into kids if you take all of the ones they suggest in the first, I think, 2 years of life? We're talking about a baby. That just doesn't, something ain't right there. Something ain't right. Let's see here. Kevin says, I know you're just joking. True Story says, Andrew doesn't get filtered out of town water, and it does make its way to our water tables, just like farming runoff. Yeah, I guess I did. Well, the treatment plant. I'd be curious to see what the actual finished product of the treatment plant actually gets down to. I mean, I have well water, so to me, it's well, I guess I do have some town water now out in the country from a new water tower that they put out here. But ours is brand spanking new, and it utilizes well water to get to us, so it's different than the town water for sure. Arian says there is also trihalomethanes that are in excess in Kittanning Water Authority water that has reported in excess of federal limitations. Interesting. I drank that water for like 5 years. Never had any issues other than the one time that we were on a do not drink warning for a few days. That was fun. But yeah. Todd says, hey, just got here. Good to have you, Todd. Awesome to have you as usual. Although I'm almost done. I'm going to be popping off here in a minute. True Story says, do your researches on research people on vaxes. Yeah, you know, I had to do the research for the most part, and we made different decisions on delaying schedules and doing those kinds of things and watching our kids' reactions to it very closely. I don't know, I never wanted to give a vaccine to a baby that I didn't know a little bit about its personality yet, because then how do you know if it changed anything? And if you're having, say, you have an allergic reaction to a vaccine, there are people that die from the allergic reaction. And so if you don't understand what the reaction was because you haven't had enough time to learn the baby, then that's a problem to me. Just is. So, but we tried to make this an informed decision as possible. As always, you can only do so much. There's pressure coming from both sides. And as a parent, it's one of the most difficult decisions that you have to make. But you just place it in God's hands, and you count on Him to do the rest. That's all. That's all we can do. Tim says you just can't date anyone in your homeschool. No, we do have a homeschooling co-op though in town, so our kids are involved with that, and so they meet other kids from other families that are not their siblings. So maybe they'll. New topic. New topic. True Story says hospitals flush many every day, and people on pharmaceuticals urine goes into town water. That's true as well. Um, read the inserts, pay attention. Absolutely. Royal Homeschool says, hello, sorry I'm always late to log on. No problem. Glad to have you. Melissa says Tyler had an allergic reaction to Tylenol when he was 2, and see if you gave it to him when he was 2 months, you wouldn't even know the baby yet. And so that's what I'm talking about. Meatloaf says y'all take stuff too serious. All right, be nice, everybody. The Dog Gamer lives in Kittanning too. Great to have you. Great to have you. All right, guys. It has been 43 minutes. How does the time go so fast with you? I just love you all so much. If you're doing the Daniel fast, I'll be praying for you. If you want to pray for me as well, I have some specific things on my list that I am trying to I don't know, just get answers on or get clarity on as I move forward in our walk into 2020. And so I hope you're doing the same. Whatever you're doing, I hope that you're focused on your relationship with God, that you're taking the 9-week challenge with us, and that you are growing closer in your relationship with Him every day. And I hope that you're on board with this channel for the coming days. 2020 is shaping up to be very exciting already. We have some, like I said, some exciting announcements coming up in the next couple of videos that you'll see. I have a Christmas video I still need to put out. It's January 5th. Still have to put out a Christmas video. And then I have a 2019 recap video that I'm working on as well. Along with that, I have one other video that I filmed on Friday and one that I'm planning to film tomorrow. So a lot of content coming hopefully this week, and we'll hopefully get back on track with the podcast is on my list of things to do. What I want to do is a podcast every week and 2 edited videos every week. So that'll give us 3 good pieces of content for you guys to connect with, and then of course Sunday night live stream. But love all you guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Arian, I saw your comment about Christians with a Vision. Definitely will be praying for you, my friend. Let's see. Making sure I'm not missing anything important. We are good. All right. Peace.